Hello YouTube, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. If you hear or see helicopters behind me, don't worry, they're not bombing me, at least probably not. The UN is really busy today. They have a lot of things to pretend that they're doing, and they're running helicopters back and forth nonstop, and the UN is like right over there, I guess. Okay, we've got a question here from YouTube user Devin7962, who asked us, why would an attorney, and I thought I already answered this, but I can't find the video, so I'm gonna make a video again. Still getting over my cough. I apologize. Why would an attorney continue to defend a defendant who is guilty? Well, they're getting paid, Devin. They're getting paid $1,600 an hour. My definition of guilty is the defendants did what I claim they have done, and I have emails, screenshots, and voice recordings to prove so, and the defendants have no evidence to refute it. The defendants have no evidence to refute it because it is accurate. They still have the email, at least I assume. All right, so listen. First things first, defense counsel's getting paid probably in the range of like $1,600 an hour. Minimum retainer for a defense firm, you're probably looking, unless there's like a volume deal in place, you're probably looking at something like 30, 40 grand. So first off, that firm took 30, 40 grand from this defendant, and they assigned an attorney, the defense attorney you're dealing with, to work on the case, and that attorney bills for their firm to the tune of like probably around $1,600 an hour. So they're making money for their firm. So right off the bat, if they refuse to work on the case, it's over. They're out. They're done. They're stopping. They're not going to make the $500,000 a year anymore. The $450, the $600, whatever it is, right? It's over. So they're going to work the case because their boss says work the case. Now, further, they do owe their client a duty of loyalty. They took the money, so they have a duty to the client. They must do good things for the client. Whether the client is guilty or not, whether it can be proven guilty or not, there's still a lot that attorney can do to lessen the impact, lessen the damage, triage the pain the employer is going to feel, right? So there's a lot that attorney can do to benefit their client still, even if their client is dead to rights guilty with a capital guilt, right? Now listen, also Devin, I'm going to kind of just really quick say like, hey, I don't know how often you do this, but I don't know what your ability to analyze evidence and the quality of evidence is, right? It might be amazing, Devin. I suspect you are amazing. But I'll say that this, most people who call me up and be like, I already proved my case. It's proven. I'll read it. I'll read the evidence. I'll look through the evidence. I'll be like, well, what is it you think you proved? Like, some of this has some evidentiary value, but like, when you say you proved your case, what do you think you proved, right? What do you know what the elements of a claim are? Do you know what you have to prove to win the claim? Like, what's the logic? How do we get from this evidence you're giving me to the elements? Like, how does this evidence show me the elements of the claim that we need to prove to win? So that's the second part, right? Like, what you think is having an employer dead to rights, I'm sure Devin is, but what most people think having an employer dead to rights is like, maybe they got something. I mean, that's a reality of this industry. Like, there's a lot of people who don't really understand how evidence is used, what evidence is admissible, how to weave a narrative as supported and underpinned by evidence, right? To make that narrative more compelling, more persuasive, more believable, right? So there's another part there in that your perspective might be, the case is over. I already won. Ba-boom, right? And defense counsel might be like, if I play a light defense here, just a little zone defense, just poke a couple holes here and there, this witness goes to shit, got this witness to freak out and scream at me, caught that witness in a lie. There seems to be an email that I don't think my client got. We don't have it, so it could be fake. Like, they're going to poke holes in your case. That's the other thing defense counsel is going to try to do, right? So they're going to try to triage to reduce the damage to the employer. They're going to try to undermine your evidence, undermine your narrative. They're going to try to poke holes in the plaintiff's narrative. They're going to try to make you seem dishonest. They're going to try to make you seem like you can't keep your story straight, right? And all of these things are things that they're going to do to help their client. So when you ask, like, why would they defend that person? Because they're getting paid to, and because there's a lot of good they can do. Even if you have their client dead to rights, they can move the needle to the tune of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, in their client's favor. You can win. You got great evidence, Devin. I believe you, right? You can win. How much you win is the next question. And when you collect. And if you settle after you win, because maybe there's delaying tactics, right? All of this is very meaningful and can very rapidly make defense counsel worth their weight in gold, which is why, listen, it's why they get paid the big bucks, right? Like the guaranteed money. Do plaintiffs' counsel do better than defense counsel? The good ones, sure, because we get a percentage, right? And plaintiffs' counsel is going to get between 25 and 50% of whatever they win, depending on the firm, right? So if you win often or you win big, you're doing great. You're doing great. But that defense money, there's no if. It's guaranteed. You're getting paid. And if you're not getting paid, you just stop working. We leave, right? Like a defense counsel who doesn't get the retainer replenishment, they write a very sweet letter to their client. It's been lovely working with you. We're sorry to see you go. Your incoming counsel will give them the file, but you're not paying your bills, so we wish you the best, right? That is defense counsel life. That is how they live. It's guaranteed money. And these firms make tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions a year. So there's never going to be a question for the associate or the partner or the shareholder, depending on the firm you're dealing with, that they're getting paid. They're going to get their $500,000 on the deal, right? Like, I worked so hard this year, but it's okay because I got my $600K. It's a reality. That's what they're doing it for. They're not playing defense because they like rapists, I presume. I can't imagine. I mean, I can think of like maybe like two really bad dudes on the defense side. The rest of them are like, oh my God, my client is such a piece of shit. Oh my God. What does your client want? This piece of shit. We gotta get your client a check. I can't believe we took this guy's money again. This guy is the worst. Oh my God. He gets these women drunk and like over and over and over again, and like they never consent, and oh my God, right? Like, but their boss takes the retainer, and they want that $450, $500, $600K a year, so they're not going to say no. So a lot of them do what they can, which is cut our clients' checks, right? Like that's the other thing to remember is for that defense counsel, it is substantially harder to get your client a check cut because defense counsel will go to their client and say, hey, you're a moron. Or, hey, CEO, that employee who works for you is the dumbest and worst human being, like both a horrible villain and a horrible moron twisted and blended into one human being. And I don't know why you hired them, and I don't know why you're keeping them if you are, but we got to cut a check. There's going to have to be a big, beefy check here. And the sooner you cut the check, the less you pay me as defense counsel. So, like, let's get that check out. And that, from an experienced professional, carries a lot of weight. So the employer will then say, oh, my God, really? So-and-so is a villain and a moron, and put a bunch of stuff in writing and, like, did horrible things, right? workplace discrimination, sexual assault, whatever it is, right? Okay, what do we do about that guy, and how do we get the situation taken care of? Defense counsel is great, so you should fire that guy, and we should cut a massive check to this victim, right? This plaintiff. So you can see why I'm generally not mad at defense counsel. Defense counsel exists. Listen, are they playing defense? Are they trying to trip up my clients? Are they playing hardball? Yeah, they're playing for keeps. There's a lot of money on the table sometimes, right? They're not fooling around. They came to mix it up. But ultimately, in north of 98% of cases in this field, they're looking to cut a check. Will that check make my client happy? I don't know. Might not be enough. But it's nice to have someone on the other side saying, oh my God, my guy is human trash. I don't understand how this keeps happening. I don't understand why he's still working there. Oh my God, right? Like, and I'm here like, yeah, we're doing it again, man. We're doing it again. You know it's going to be a huge check because I got all the priors. And your client keeps keeping this guy. They keep this guy employed. I can't imagine why. He's not particularly good at his job. And it's just nice to have that person on the other side who's like, yeah, I don't know either. Off the record. Obviously my guy's innocent. But like, oh my God. Right? Like, Devin, that's why. That's why defense counsel takes the money. They're there to get paid. Ultimately, they're almost always going to be cutting a check. They're very often going to be cutting a check. And they can do a lot of good for their client while they earn the money. So they're going nowhere. And they often feel super gross about it. I will tell you for a fact. There's no question in my mind. Many defense counsel feel super bad and super gross and very conflicted about many of their clients. They also sometimes will come to me and be like, you know what? I'm going to try this case because I think your client's just full of it. And in those situations, at least some of those situations, I think it's possible they do actually believe their client. And listen, I get it. They want to believe. They want to believe they're doing something good. So I get it. Anyways, Devin, I hope this answers your question. Like, subscribe, comment down below, share the channel so we may grow. Take care, everybody.